a client that I was helping with a home purchase. And when the house sold, he was so happy with everything that we had went through to get the deal done. Um, he was like, "Man, I really appreciate you helping me get my house closed, and I want to put you on to, you know, um, a business venture that I've been working on." So I was like, "Okay, great, that sounds good." So he at the time was doing COVID testing, and the COVID testing, he said, "Well, I will pay you per test, every person that you bring." So he and I came to an agreement that I would get paid $30 for each person that I tested. So I was like, great, that sounds good. So I get the equipment, I start going around, to everybody I know, letting them know that I'm doing COVID testing. I'm going to their jobs. I'm getting in their lab work. I mean, I got all of my protective gear and my equipment, all this stuff. I mean, packed down. I'm just like super excited about it. So I probably get like around 100 tests gathered up, I'll say. And the guy, I let him know, hey, I got XYZ amount of tests. And so he said, okay, well, I'm going to send, the manager's going to come pick him up. Basically, this guy, he was pretty much operating everything. So he's going to come pick up the test and, I'm supposed to get paid. He'll be the one to pay me once, everything has been dropped off at the testing center. So I'm excited about this. I'm still out here testing and, a couple of weeks go by, I don't get paid. And a couple of more weeks go by, I don't get paid. So I've been waiting. And at this time, I'm still doing my testing, but let's say probably like 2 or 3 months have went by, and I haven't heard from anybody. Just as far as getting paid, I can drop the stuff off, and my client would meet me and get tests. I just wouldn't, still was just waiting to be what I'm assuming is added or however they doing the payroll structure. So, long story short, the gentleman that was in charge of the testing, I started to call him and ask him, what happened to my test. He said, well, they can't find your test. And so now at this point, I'm giving them a lot of tests. So he's like, well, they can't find your test. And so I'm really thinking like, well, it's pretty much nothing I could do if they can't find the test. But luckily for me, um, I only tested people that I knew. So I hadn't really got around to open neighborhood testing because when I let people know that I knew that I was testing, then they all kept saying, I want to get a test and these person want to get a test. So I had been setting up stations with people that I actually knew. And so when I speak to the people, I would say, hey, did you guys get your test? Yes, I got my results. I got my results. I got my results. I got my results. So, um, I got a list of the people that I'm testing. So I'm going back through the thing and I'm saying, okay, well, maybe he probably hasn't gotten the updated results. So I go to him, I let him know, hey, I spoke with some of my people that I tested, and they said that they got their results already. So maybe you should check back with the lab to see what's going on. Okay, so he's gonna check back with the lab. So the entire time, I'm thinking that he's used to working with people that go out and test, which I was going out and testing, but I just knew so many people. I just hadn't got to strangers yet. So he says he can't find them and he don't want to pay me. So he's not happy that my client for my real estate deal, which was his partner at the time, had given me, the cut that he had given me. And he only given me the cut, I'm assuming, which I really don't know what anybody else was getting. I only was concerned with mine, but he was upset that he had agreed to pay me. So he wasn't happy about that. He didn't want to pay me. And so, and which he never did get around to paying me the $30 per test. He just came up with an amount that he was comfortable with and just paid that. And I just settled with it because I really didn't have a recourse too much. And so he called on the phone one day and he says, they can't find your test. And I'm like, now listen, I know that's not right. Because I've spoken with the people in the community, and they have all been saying that they got their test back. And so that it just makes no sense what you're saying. And so then he said, well, in order for you to get paid, we're gonna need all our equipment back. Okay, well at this point, I said, well, what's the issue? Why you need all your equipment back? Because I still got people that need to get tested. Well, we need all our equipment back. And so I said, okay, well, what is it? Tell me what it is that you feel like you're missing. Write me a list down and give it to me, and then I'll get you back whatever it is that you need. And then he says, and I want you to know that I grew up on 83rd and Ellis. And I didn't have no idea. 83rd, I'm like, I had never been on 83rd and Ellis, so I didn't know what that meant. But I told him, I grew up in Inglewood, No Love City. So, and then he said, well, you can't threaten me and this and the third. I said, I didn't threaten you. But everybody know where everybody from now. And then that was the last text. And then he said, I'm willing to give you, XYZ for the test that you gave. And then I just said, okay. And then he never spoke to me again as far as being able to do the testing. And it was mostly because he just didn't want me to be able to get a cut of, not that high. It would have been okay. So I don't know if he was just going to keep the test or what the issue was, but come to find out later on down the road that I don't even know if that was actually, it was coming to find out that some people probably wasn't even doing the testing. But I know that the test that I actually gave to him actually had discovered a COVID outbreak. And I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that till, way down the road afterwards when a friend of mine came and told me that her and her entire family, they had COVID. And I said, well, when did y'all have COVID? Like, how did y'all find out? She said, when you came over here and gave all of us those tests, all of our results came back positive. So I realized that when I was asking people, did they get their results back, I wasn't asking what the results was. I was just asking, did they get the results back? And then come to find out that her and her family, they actually did have COVID. So that was just like a wild story and just goes to show you like just what we have to go through in order to get, I'm like I'm doing out here doing all this work, and I was basically incentivizing because I was pretty much, I would have like different raffles, just like a lot of people was doing. I would have gift cards and different things like that. So I'm out paying out money, to incentivize people to take the COVID test. And the entire time, they not wanting to actually pay me. So it's just like sometimes when you invest and you think you're trying to grow your business, you got to just be careful to make sure that the people that you're working with, that everybody's on the same page as far as, what's going to happen, or in that case, what's not going to happen. And sometimes people will try to intimidate you out of what what they know you deserve, which is really sad. So you really, just, especially as a woman, have to be very careful when you're out here doing business with people.